All right, everybody, we are back. Brand new Cabral concept. These are our Cabral house calls. This is the first one of the weekend, answering our community's questions each and every Saturday and Sunday. Excited to tackle another 10 to 12 questions here this weekend. They are always answered in the order they come in. So please do feel free to write in with your question, should you have one, at stephencabral.com/askcabral. It's about a 10-week lead time right now, but of course, if you want same-day answers, of course, do feel free to write in at cabralsupportgroup.com. That'll take you right over to our private Facebook group. It is a place where people from all over the world ask questions. About 27,000 people now from around the world, completely organic. All these 27,000 people came together with the theme and the goal of improving their overall health, getting their questions answered, but hopefully offering help to others as well, whether it be support, motivation, inspiration, etc. So post your success stories there, ask your questions there. We're here to help. All right, let's dive into the first question of the weekend, and this is from Lara. Lara says, "Hi, Dr. C. If something contains either organic cornstarch, organic corn flour, or organic corn meal, such as polenta, or just organic corn in general, would you eat it? And if so, how regularly? Are there benefits to eating corn if it's organic? And secondly, why do some people experience menstrual cramps and some don't? And also, why do some people have cramps, pain, even when ovulation occurs? Thank you for all your help and support you provide us daily. You're amazing." Thank you, Lara. Appreciate that. All right, let's get into your question. So they don't seem connected at all, but let's tackle them one by one. So do I have a problem with organic corn in any way, shape, or form? No, I really don't. So corn can have many health benefits, just like other foods. So it contains soluble fiber, but also lots of insoluble fiber. So it can be actually good for the digestive tract and digestive health. Now, there's a caveat to that. I'll talk about that in just a moment. It is very high, believe it or not, in antioxidants. It's high in lutein and zeaxanthin, which are two powerful antioxidants for the eyes. So in our daily eye support, you get a big dose of lutein and zeaxanthin, and again, incredible for eyesight. So there's that part. What else? Corn can be high in B6, which is great. It has magnesium, it has potassium, it has folate. So yeah, it can be a beneficial food. The problem is that more than 90% of all corn is genetically modified. So we don't want that. And also, if you can get more of the red corn, blue corn, those are going to be even healthier for you. All right. So how often do you eat it? Well, again, when I look at it as a grain. I know it's not in that way a grain, but how often would you eat grains? How often do you want to consume those things, and how are you getting them? So you're eating it as actual whole corn. Most corn has been a little bit more hybridized. It's very sweet, but I mean, it could be something beneficial that you have a couple times a week, should you choose to. I don't eat a whole lot of corn just because there isn't even really that opportunity for me to eat a lot of corn, because it's just not something it's in my diet, that I'm just not eating a lot of it. Maybe in the fall, late summer, for sure, we might get some whole, corn on the cob, but that's kind of a few times a year. What else may I get corn? That's it. Maybe some like blue corn chips every once in a while that are not, fried in all sorts of different vegetable oil, but very infrequent. And then corn tortillas. That would be maybe one other opportunity that I might have to have some corn. But it just doesn't present itself as often. But if you were to make your own or buy healthy corn tortillas, well, that might be a good option for you as well. All right. Why do some people experience menstrual cramping? All right. So many women could get menstrual cramping, especially due to imbalances in estrogen and progesterone. So in our practice, we see a lot of estrogen dominance, so much so that honestly, when women aren't balanced, we see the majority of women coming in, I'm not saying when they're healthy, but when they're imbalanced with estrogen dominance. That means higher levels of estrogen to progesterone. So this can absolutely cause greater amounts of bloating, cramping, oily skin, bloating, sleep issues, etc. The last 5 to 7 days of their cycle, and even through the first 3 days of their cycle as well, when hormone levels may be lower. So, and usually it's day zero, or some people call it day 1, is considered first day of menstruation. So the way that you find this out is by running a stress mood and metabolism test. It goes through your estrogen, progesterone, the ratio, all cortisol throughout the day, 4 times, thyroid, vitamin D, insulin, hemoglobin A1C, because many, and testosterone, DHEA, which I didn't name. By the way, this test is at stephencabral.com/hormones-test, or you can, everything I talk about, you can just go to stephencabral.com/shop. That'll take you over to EcoLife. That's our whole practice. Everything we offer is right there. And again, you can feel free to run these with your practitioner, no problem. But at least you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so what else? There's also PCOS, right? So that's an issue, and we want to make sure that a woman does not have PCOS. So that would be another potential reason as well. All right. Okay. Tiana is up next. Hello, I've been thoroughly enjoying your podcast. It's been incredibly insightful and uplifting. Happy to hear that, Tiana. I'm thrilled to share that after completing a 21-day functional medicine detox by EcoLife, I'm amazed by the results and the comprehensive explanations of my lab results during my recent appointments. I became curious about some health topics, namely vitamin D and B injections, peptide injection therapy, and chelation therapy. While I understand these might not be services you offer and I don't necessarily need, I would love to hear your insights on these subjects purely out of pure personal interest. Your perspective always brings such clarity and depth to discussions. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Thanks, Tiana, for writing in. So what I would say is this, is that I'm not a big injections guy. I'm really not. So there's a time and place for everything. Don't get me wrong. Time and place for everything. And if you're in need of it and you need a big boost, then by all means. So like, let's just say you need an immune boost. Could you do an immune boost of vitamin D, vitamin C, like a Myers cocktail, IV drip, or an injection? Sure, you absolutely could. If you're really low on B12, could you do some methylcobalamin injections? Yeah, absolutely you could. But in general, I'm not a big ongoing injection person. I'm just not, because you're getting a larger dose all at once. And that's just not a belief that I have with natural medicine. So I believe in a little vitamin D every day, just like you'd get from the sun. I believe in a little bit of zinc and B vitamins and all of those things every day, just like you'd get from food. But our food is so depleted now. I mean, trust me, like you can see it for yourself. You don't have to trust me. Run the GI Vitatox. It's the Vitamin Tox test now. And, or it's also called the starter kit. And you can just find that at stephencabral.com/starter-kit. Run all your vitamin and mineral levels. So I like to get it on a daily basis when your body needs it, not a mega dose where it goes high and then it starts to drop over the next few weeks, and then you go high again and then drop over the next few weeks. So that's that. I think peptide injection therapy has its place. Don't get me wrong, but I teach all of this inside of High Performance Health. So you can go to highperformancehealth.org if you really want to go deep on this. But it's not for the average individual. These are very strong therapies that I think people are being pushed into far too quickly. Same with TRT, far too quickly. You meet 30-year-olds on hormone? I just don't think it's a very good idea, even 40-year-olds. And then chelation therapy, there's just much more natural ways to do it. The heavy metal detox, you can find that at stephencabral.com/shop. Do things naturally. Don't draw and pull things out of the body. Sometimes natural health likes to be too much like conventional medicine. And again, there's a time and place for everything, but on an ongoing basis, I'm certainly not an advocate of mega dosing. All right. Sheila's up next. Dear Dr. Cabral, what is your opinion of topical thyroid hormone cream designed to provide superior flexibility, absorption, and utilization of T2 for thyroid patients? Is this cream better than taking pills or supplements? Thanks very much. Okay. So I'm assuming we're talking about for Hashimoto's. No, sorry, not for Hashimoto's, for hypothyroidism, because some people might have Hashimoto's, which is completely different. I actually just worked with a woman earlier today with Hashimoto's and thyroid totally fine. Does she need then thyroid supplementation like her specialist was trying to give her? The answer is no. Her T4 and T3 are completely fine, like totally fine. Her issue was with thyroid antibodies, and she had TPO and thyroglobulin elevated. Totally different. What is that from? Typically heavy metals, viral infections, stress, and intestinal permeability, right? So we're going to fix those, right? That's what we're going to do. But there's no need for the hormone. Like the hormone that she was being prescribed with levothyroxine. Again, I'm not giving medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis, but her thyroid's totally fine. There's an autoimmune issue, right? Okay, so T2, I am not using T2 at all in my practice. There's T0, T1, T2. There's what we work with is helping the thyroid to produce thyroid hormone naturally. That's exactly what we do. I have a whole course on exactly how to fix your thyroid, literally A to Z. That's at stephencabral.com/courses. So if you're ever dealing with thyroid issues, I have a full course on this. If you don't want to take the course, totally understand. I have an entire category of free podcasts at stephencabral.com/podcast. Scroll through the podcasts, click on thyroid, and you will see all of these just in individual ways. The course just takes you A to Z through it, and it saves you reading 12 books on the topic, and you really never need to take another thyroid book or course again. So we look for the underlying root cause, and in low thyroid, we look at elevated levels of cortisol. So again, you want to run the stress mood and metabolism test. We look at deficiencies, namely selenium, zinc, B6, iron, vitamin A. These are just off the top of my head. And yeah, so we're looking at exactly how the thyroid functions. So that's what true natural health is. It's not just about supplementation. Yes, supplementation is part of it, but it's the de-stress protocol that I wrote about in the rain barrel effect. Diet, exercise, stress reduction, tox removal, rest, emotional balance, scientifically backed supplements, and a success mindset. Because the thyroid issues could also be elevated levels of mercury, elevated levels of aluminum, elevated levels of fluoride, elevated levels of chlorine. And so I explain all that in the course. You know, we teach you all of these things, but it really is. It's about education so that you never go back, right? You never go back. You always know how you got here and how to reverse it. So no, I do not use T2. I prefer to help the body produce its own T4, convert it naturally to T3, and then not convert it to reverse T3. All right, Sheila, hopefully that's helpful. And again, all the labs that I talk about, those come with a consultation as well and a full plan. Courtney says, hi, first of all, thank you so much for all the information you give to the community. I've spent hundreds of dollars on labs and supplements to get healthy. I had mold exposure in my apartment, was living in 2 years ago. I lived there for 2 years, was also pregnant and breastfeeding in the mold. My baby and I both had identical symptoms and rashes and congestion. We finally got it tested and came back positive for black mold. We moved out immediately. I was never told I needed a detox, so I moved out and went on with my life. Well, now I have unexplained alopecia areata. I get sick all the time, anxiety, etc. I had RA markers on my labs, as well as high cortisol and TGF beta 1. Where should I start with getting well again? All right. So I have a whole podcast on where to start in order to get well, right? So you can ask that at cabralsupportgroup.com. You can search it for yourself right at stephencabral.com/podcast. But it always comes back, if you're able to, running the Big Five. That's what it is. So when you run the Big Five, you look at the stress mood and metabolism test, so all your hormones. You look at your vitamin levels and mineral levels with the starter kit. That's the minerals and metals test. That's the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. Looks at your gut health, looks at Candida, vitamins, minerals, looks at heavy metals, looks at mitochondrial health, right? We look at your food sensitivities, 190 of them. We look at your omega-6 to omega-3 levels. And that's it. So it's those 5 labs. Then you get a 90-minute consultation, and then you get a personalized protocol for you. Right? Because you don't want me telling you exactly what to do with a 60-second question. That's the truth. That's the truth, right? The truth is that serious health issues deserve serious attention. And I would be remiss, and it would be unethical of me to be saying, this is what you should do, and this is what you should do, and this is what you should do. So you run the Big Five, and you get everything. Basically, you get a free consultation and a free plan for just the cost of the labs. And that's what we're trying to do, is share with people. Don't guess, test. We know that you have mold. You don't need to run a mycotoxins test. We'll run the other labs, get you exactly what you need. Because it's not going to be, oh, do this, take these 3 supplements for 3 weeks and you'll be all better. It's not that, right? So please read the Rain Barrel Effect, run the Big Five. We will then walk you through the process as how to get well. That's the truth. And it's the least expensive way to do it. We've made it that way on purpose. All right. Courtney's up next. Courtney just asked a question. All right, Courtney's got one more question. I'm currently doing the Dr. Cabral detox. After day 1, I woke up the next morning and I was nauseous and had a migraine. I ate some canned beans, and after a couple hours, I felt better. So I continued the detox following the days 3 through 7. Should I have stopped the detox, or was it a sign that everything was moving through my body? I was unsure of what to do. I'm trying to do the detox from mold exposure and had RA markers and TG. You're the same person. Yes, for my labs. Okay, so you wrote in on April 4th, and this podcast is debuting June 29th. So April, May, June, about 11 weeks. And so I just want you to know, you can always write in at cabralsupportgroup.com. We'll help you, right? We'll be there for you to help you along the way. It's free of charge. And so you did the right thing, though. You've moved on to days 3 through 7. Why? Because a body that is very toxic can have greater reactions. Does it happen to even 1 out of 10 people? No, but it can happen, right? These are called Herxheimer reactions. So it's basically one of 3 reasons. The first one is you cut out caffeine and you weren't used to cutting out caffeine and you got nauseous and you got a headache. That's, for the most part, people blame it on a detox, but it's caffeine withdrawal. All right, the second is you may have had low blood sugar or low blood pressure or both, right? So some people, if their body is not balanced in terms of being able to stabilize blood sugar, when they're just doing the detox shakes for the first 2 days, they can get low blood sugar. All right. The third is a Herxheimer reaction. Your body is actually dumping more toxins, stored toxins, because of autophagy, breaking down more toxins, moving them through the liver. The liver can't keep up. You end up with headache and you may feel nauseous. Okay. So you did the right thing. You moved to days 3 through 7, which is exactly what you should do. So then you do your shake in the morning, you do your plant-based lunch, you do your second shake, you do your paleo style dinner, and you keep going just like that. So that's exactly how to do it. You did the right thing, whether you meant to or didn't mean to. So the thing is, the more functional medicine detoxes you do, and the healthier you get, the healthier you will be, the better balanced your body will be, and you'll be able to do those first 2 fasting days and get the deepest benefits of autophagy in the future. So don't push it. Always work with your body. This isn't a race to get well. And I know you'll get there, Courtney. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. As always, I appreciate your subscribes, your downloads, your listens, your shares. I will be back tomorrow with a brand new Cabral HouseCall answering more of our community's questions. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.